Howdy there folks, and welcome to Bullets for Bucks. Today we're going to compare the Ruger American Gen 2 against the Mossberg Patriot. Alright, so first let's head to the range and see how they performed. Okay, we are going to shoot Ruger Gen 2 at 200 yards, 300, and then we'll go 4. Let's go 1.5 MOA for 200, just that parallax, the middle gong there. Alright, first round hit. Velocity on that, 27.55 again. Alright, 300 yards, Ruger American Gen 2. We're going to go 4 MOA. 150 grain SSTs are flying good out of this gun. We'll go on the circle all the way to the left. First round hit. Velocity on that was 27.50. Alright, 400 yards, Ruger American Gen 2. I'm actually guessing holdover. Hitting them though. There we go. A little bit tight on the, that could be from the rain getting on the casings. Not bad, sub MOA with factory ELDM ammunition. This is a 7 PRC. All right, now that we're back from the range, let's go over some of the fit, feel, and function of each rifle and compare them. First off, we're going to take the Ruger American Standard stock, which I have right here, and compare the butt pad. Very, very thick, about 1 inch thick, soft and smushy. A nice curve right here on that. Now we're going to take a look at the Mossberg Patriot. Very plain Jane, about 3/4 of an inch thick, but it's nice and soft, no curvature really to it. Ruger has adjustable length of pull here with removable spacers. The Patriot does not, at least on this version and most of their versions. It has a built-in comb riser. The Mossberg does not. Polymer on this, very similar. The Patriot might just be a little bit thicker feeling and not as hollow sounding. Ruger American has like a splatter coat paint job on it for grippiness. The Patriot does not. Has a recessed sling swivel stud on the Ruger American. This one is not recessed. Coming forward, you have a pretty traditional palm swell and grip right here on both of them. Nothing really remarkable there. You have a plastic trigger guard that's part of the stock on the Ruger American. I don't like that because if it cracks, you got to replace the stock. Has a separate piece that sits in here so it can take AICS magazines, and a roll pin holds in the release lever. Not really preferring this style. It's kind of a pain to remove the barreled action from the stock, and it's all plastic. On the Mossberg Patriot, you have a plastic trigger guard as well, and the magazine, well, is part of the stock. So basically, essentially, the same issue, whereas if you crack the plastic, you'll have to replace the stock. I do like the magazine on this because it works quite well. The magazine releases in front of the magazine, which I find a lot more intuitive than a lever at the rear. On the Ruger, it's a really small little lever, and it's kind of hard for me to get a hold of. Much prefer the Mossberg magazine release here, and it seems to work great. Most of the Mossberg Patriot models don't accept an AICS magazine, whereas the Ruger American Gen 2 does now, so that's something to keep in mind. If you want to use AICS pattern magazines, go with the Ruger American Gen 2 as well. Yeah. Second target from the left, lower left red square. Ooh, it's not liking that ammunition. All over the place. Velocities 26.32. I know I'm flinchy today, but I am not that flinchy. It's about a 2.5 inch group there with the Federal Gold medal match. Surprising. On this Ruger, I wish the release lever for the mag was actually a paddle off to the side of the trigger guard or in front of the magazine. Kind of a weird little lever there, don't really prefer it. All right, we're gonna try one more group with this. This is the Hornady custom ammunition in this 308 in this Ruger American. We're gonna try one group, second target from the left. I'm shooting in such a quick sequence here, the barrels aren't cooling. I'm getting really fatigued really fast here. Upper left circle. I flinched on that last one. It likes that 150 SSTs, I believe. Probably right at 3/4 MOA, maybe 1 MOA. The receiver on the Ruger American Gen 2 has some flat machining on the left side. It's Cerakoted. Bolt release is a large lever on the left. It comes with a 20 MOA Picatinny rail for the scope base. Has a large heavy-duty bolt, removable tactical bolt knob, 3 locking lugs, 70-degree bolt throw, little extractor built into the lug, and a plunger ejector. Rides smoothly in the receiver. No zipper sound, really. Comes with a marksman trigger, brakes nicely, but mine didn't really want to adjust according to factory specs. Has a 3-position safety all the way to the rear, locks the bolt, 1 forward, unlocks the bolt, but you can't fire all the way forward. You can fire, has a cocked indicator at the rear. The receiver has 2 recesses in it that marry up against 2 V-block metal bedding pieces in the stock, and then it's reinforced down the barrel channel, and it is fully free floated. The stock is actually quite rigid for a polymer stock. It's a lot better than the Gen 1. All right, we got the new Ruger Gen 2 in 308 Winchester, the new Vortex Viper HD 3-15 by 44, shooting 975 yards, 28 MOA of elevation here, almost 0 wind hold today. All right, here we go. Ready? I flinched. Okay, some of the Mossberg Patriots come with a 20 MOA Picatinny rail as well. However, the receiver on this basically appears to be a piece of bar stock, isn't really machined very much at all, very simplistic, and isn't Cerakoted in this particular model. Has a 90-degree bolt throw, little lever on the left side. Our tab releases the bolt from the receiver. Spiral fluted bolt though on this, which is nice. 2 locking lugs, plunger ejector, and a little extractor in the recoil lug on the bolt lug. Has a very large knurled tactical bolt knob, but it isn't as easy to swap out as the Ruger American Gen 2. 2-position safety on this, does not lock the bolt in place. Trigger, noticeably more creep, but similar in design. Curved trigger blade with a center blade, but definitely heavier even after adjustment, and noticeably more creep. Both utilize a barrel nut. One cool thing about the Mossberg is it has a recoil lug sandwiched between the barrel and the receiver, kind of like a Remington, which I like. The barrel on this particular one, and I think all of theirs comes threaded 5/8 by 24, which is nice. However, most of theirs don't come with a muzzle brake, and the Ruger American Gen 2 does come with a very nice Cerakoted radial muzzle brake and a spiral fluted barrel. There's better options, more options in my opinion, with the Ruger American Gen 2. It definitely seems to have higher build quality. The one complaint with the Ruger American Gen 2 that I have is when the bolt's forward, the magazine doesn't really want to seat, and I hate that. And there's been some extraction and ejection issues reported with the Ruger American Gen 2, but there's been a lot of issues reported with the Mossberg as well. Mossberg, from reports that I hear, either tends to be you have one that works flawlessly and shoots amazing, which this one does, shoots like half MOA with factory ammunition, absolutely fantastic, or you have one that shoots absolutely terrible. So QC with Mossberg's probably a little bit more on the fritz than even the Ruger American Gen 2, or Ruger I should say. So if it was up to me, I would probably go with the Ruger American Gen 2, just due to the fact it's Cerakoted, it's got better machining quality, less reports of issues with accuracy. The stock is a little bit better. This one is free floated. It has a similar fore-end sling swivel stud. However, it's just not as rigid and as high quality in my opinion as the Ruger American Gen 2. However, if you find the Mossberg at the right price point, well, I wouldn't pass it up either, as it can make a great truck gun. This one breaks at just under 3 pounds, where the Ruger American actually breaks at 3.5 pounds. However, this one, the trigger feels a lot more creepy and not as crisp and clean, but that is something to note. The Ruger American Gen 2 didn't really want to adjust down lower, and this one clearly did. Hope you enjoyed this comparison of the Mossberg Patriot against the Ruger American Gen 2. Thanks for watching Bullets for Bucks. Check out this next video and subscribe.